Hello friends, welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon, and this is a special episode. Can you believe that it is fall already? What? I mean, I know, I'm back in school. It's fall, I've got the fall vibes, but I feel like summer just disappeared from me. And I know I've been pretty silent on the channel recently. I'm hoping to get some things edited this weekend and up, but the Yarny YouTube Hop, so the fall Yarny YouTube Hop, I had a plan for something to make. And then my life went like berserk over summer, so I wasn't able to finish it. But I am going to show you what I did manage to do on that project, and then at the end I'll reveal something else fall related that I did manage to make. Also, look at how cute this hat is. This hat lives at the shop, but it's my design and it's my hat. And my ears are chilly today, even though it's supposed to be 80 degrees out. In the AC, my ears are cold. So look how cute this fall hat is. It's made out of Barocco sesame, and it has a real fur pom-pom on it, and the pattern, I'll link it down below, is called Stripeless Signature, because I have a hat that's very similar, but you actually knit a color stripe into it going up vertically. So anyway, that's what that is. But let's go check in with Heather of the past for what I had intended to show you right now. Hello sunshines, and welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon, and today is the fall Yarny YouTube Hop, but I am Heather of the way back. In fact, this is the day that the summer Yarny YouTube Hop dropped, so I just felt really inspired again. I've only watched about a third of the videos. If you didn't watch the spring and summer videos, definitely go back and watch them because people made such cool things. But anyway, I have decided that I'm going to have a little bit of a cheeky project. I'm going to cast on a blanket that I said I wasn't going to cast on until I finished 5 scrappy blankets. If you've watched the Year of the Blanket videos, you know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, I'll put the card to the introductory video up there so you can see it. Anyway, I am going to make a blanket for the fall because what better thing to do on chilly, rainy autumn days than cuddle under a blanket? Nothing, right? So I'm super excited. But today I am doing a gauge swatch because I have fingering weight scraps and I'm going to hold 3 of them together. And I don't know how many stitches I need to cast on. So I'm going to make a mug rug and figure out my gauge from there. For this project, I have these 2 bags, my hand for scale, don't mind the nails. I have these 2 bags full of yarns that are going to go into this blanket. And I know this isn't enough yarn to finish the blanket, but I have plenty of other scraps that I can look through to see if I have green. And I know that they're like, here's a little green nugget right here. Plus these bags of scraps that I can go through, and scraps that aren't even put on these shelves because they have come to me since the beginning of the year. So I have a lot of options. Hello friends, it has been about a week since I started this blanket. Don't mind the paint on my hands. It's summertime right this moment, and that means home renovation time because I am not working at the school right this minute. So painting is happening. Anyway, I cast this on a week ago. I did a provisional cast on because I know I want to do an edging of some type, and I find it way easier to pick up stitches from a provisionally cast on edge than any other type of cast on. So let's talk about this. I did some math and made my cast on based on that math for a 48-inch blanket, and this is on a 47-inch cord, so I think it's bunched up over here. So it's true to size based on my gauge swatch and my math. And if my math is correct, I'm going to be doing 178 garter ridges. And I have decided, let's see, here you can see my stitch marker. So I have these larger balls of green yarns left over from when I made an advent calendar last year called A Certain Shade of Green, and this is actually the first one in the blanket. I'm doing 178 ridges, so I'm going to change my yarns, or I'm going to use one of these yarn balls for about 11, somewhere between 10 and 12 ridges. And then I'm going to cut it, and it's not going to go into the blanket again, theoretically. That's my plan right this minute. Who knows what it's going to be like later. So this one is already in, and this one I have started with. So I'm using those for large chunks. But throughout the blanket, I am otherwise not keeping large balls of yarn attached. So you can see right here, I have 2 ridges that are quite dark, and I still have more of that mini left to go in, but I didn't want a really, really thick chunk of dark yarn. So when the green minis are larger, I will cut them as I see fit, basically. So yeah, here is a week's worth of progress. I probably won't check in with you every week. It'll probably be more spotty throughout, but I just wanted to check in with you before I forgot details and stuff of my cast on. I am super excited, and I cannot wait to snuggle up under this during autumn. I know this is a 47-inch cable, but this seems awfully narrow. I'm trying to remind myself that it will grow when I block it. It's so pretty and it's so squishy, and it is bringing me so much joy. I need to not work on it too much though, because I'm working it on size US 10 needles, which is 6mm. Are you going to focus? There we go. Yeah, so I'm using size 10 needles, and I pretty much never use size 10 needles, so they're hurting my hands a little bit. I decided to go with size 10 because I'm holding 3 strands of yarn together. Did I even say that? I don't remember what I told you last week, so I'm just going to assume I didn't say that. So it's 3 strands at once, US size 10 needles, and I think it is so pretty, but I can't work on it too much because this is where I was going with that, because I get hand fatigue. So I'm kind of blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of trying to do like a ridge or 2 a day. I did the math, and I think that I needed to do like 4 ridges a day to get it done on time or something like that, but whatever, that's fine. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And it is going to, hopefully it will slowly grow, and I will continue to work on it a bit each day so that it's not September and I'm rushing to finish it. Who knows? Who knows? All right, friends, I will check in with you again sometime. Alright friends, so let's see how far I did get on this blanket. It's not as impressive as I want it to be. But it's also not insignificant. So, ta-da, ta-da. This is my blanket. It is that big, so it's probably about 40% of the length that I want it to be. I'm really disappointed that I didn't finish it in time, because this should have been something I could handle in 3 months. Like, it's just a plain stockinette blanket. I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I don't remember because I recorded all of that so long ago. I'm holding 3 strands of green, mostly green yarn together, obviously with other color variants, but I'm using one strand is yarn from the advent calendar I did last year. I'm not a dyer or anything, I just had a lot of green yarn and I broke it up into advent calendars for myself and other people. So one strand is that, and I'm doing 11 ridges, between 10 and 12 ridges for each of those colors, so that I don't have color blocks that are too giant. And then I want a magic cake because I'm actually going to the movies tonight and I'm going to work on this. So here's a magic cake, and this is all small scraps, like probably around 7 grams or less. And then my third strand is bigger scraps, so like 7 to 15-ish grams. And for the most part, I'm using them all up, but if I feel like an area of the blanket is getting too saturated by a certain color other than the advent yarns, then I cut it and I just put it back in the bag for later use. But especially for the small scraps, I just use those until they go up. I'm not winding them into a magic ball, generally speaking. I am just making, I'm just using them as I come to them, because it's so fast and easy to, like, it's not quite as fast to just knit a little nugget onto the blanket than to wind it onto another ball, but basically. So for the small ones, I'm not winding them up, except this time, because again, we're going to the movies, me and this blanket. So yeah, it's about 40% of the length that I want. So we're getting there, just not there yet. And that's okay though, that's okay. I didn't anticipate having like several major life events happen in a 3-month period. So it's okay. I'm giving myself grace, and I'm letting myself just make something very small for this season's Yarny YouTube hop. So do you want to see what I made for fall? It's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. It's also so tiny. And it was very quick. The opposite of this blanket. Alrighty. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, so what I made is this little tiny pumpkin. A little hexapuff. It could also be a Frankenstein now that I'm looking at it. Whatever, it's fallish. And this is going to go in my oldest kiddo's blanket. I used fingering weight yarn, size 3 needles, the Beekeeper's Quilt hexapuff pattern, and it's just so very cute. It's so cute. So it's a little tiny contribution because my big contribution isn't finished, but I'm pretty pleased with it. Have you been watching all of the hop videos? Are you having so much fun? Because I definitely am. If you haven't seen any of the other ones, they will be linked below, so go check them out. Bye, friends.